So God healed me, but not in the way that you would think, okay? When I was struggling with chronic illness, I was so focused on the things that I needed to remove, whether it be mold, toxins, and pathogens. And yes, I had Lyme and Babesia. I thought that once that I get rid of these issues, that my body would finally work how it was supposed to. But as I purged, neutralized, and continuously sought for more testing and information on my body, I became sicker and sicker. I bet many of you resonate with that because I work with many of these individuals like myself who have experienced this. I feared every single pathogen, and my nervous system was a wreck because of all the seeking and the fear. And I studied environmental medicine, which made me demonize my environment even more. And I went to these medical conferences that really preached the removal of everything. But then I started to realize that all of this information that I was obtaining was fear-based and informing us that the body is not capable. Because of all this knowledge and information I was obtaining, I didn't even want to create life one day or even think I was worthy of it because of my health. I became a naturopathic doctor because I wanted to learn how to heal the body, and I myself was still struggling with chronic symptoms and still continuously seeking for more information because of how uncomfortable I was within my body. I was not connected to myself, nature, or God in any way, shape, or form. So during this time in my life, I became so reactive to everything, including food, to the point where I had to turn to fasting because I did not know what else to do. I was so frustrated, I lost all hope, and I was so desperate for any answer. Because I would eat any food and I would experience extreme muscle pain and joint pain, and it pretty much felt like I had a flu all the time, continuously achy, tired, and anxious. I was a mess. Fasting was my saving grace. Fasting changed my life, not because it increases autophagy and gets rid of like 6 toxic cells, but because it actually brought me closer to God, which helped me understand biology and completely changed the way that I view my body and practice medicine. I am now a terrain mineral-focused energy medicine naturopathic doctor, not by choice, but from experience. And trust me, I did not learn this in naturopathic medical school. So how did God heal me? So God did not come to me through religious texts or church. God actually came through me during my darkest, most unhealed self. In my moment of pain, in this prolonged, fasted, desperate state, I immersed myself in nature in the mountains, Flagstaff, Arizona. I sat in silence, weak and tired. And in that moment, all of a sudden, I felt the deepest, most loving feeling in my body. I ended up feeling so much love and bliss in that moment that I pretty much knew that this entire time I was never alone. I was never alone in this experience and in this pain. And not only was I never alone, but I was so loved. So loved. I felt deep, unconditional love run through my body like I've never felt from anything or anyone. And this feeling and presence within my body shifted me. It shifted me so much that I healed my fear of death. I completely lost my health anxiety because I ended up having a lot of health anxiety. If you go through the medical system and it's all like fear-based, they place the diagnoses on you and they tell you you need to kill this, do this. You end up attaching to all of these issues and then you start seeking more. It's a stress loop and fear loop and it keeps you stuck. But I now understood the connection between the mind, body, and soul, the spirit. I was missing the spirit all along. I was so focused on removing and nourishing and supporting the body, but I never thought about the energetic, emotional part, the soul and the spirit. And trust me, I never learned this in school in any way, shape, or form. And this is one of the reasons why I feel like I am walking away from my industry, because I do feel like we're just as bad as allopathic medicine. So feeling this state of unconditional love, I realized that I had so much I had to let go of. So many beliefs that were keeping me stuck within the fear, which is this low frequency emotion. But when I felt that love, I knew all of the shame, all of the fear, the hate, the anger, the judgment, the worthlessness were things that I was never supposed to carry. And some of these things that I was carrying were not mine to carry either. They were unhealed emotions that were put onto me by the people around me at a young age. I was holding on to things that God never wanted me to, and I was allowing them to consume me. I will say that the process of healing was a low and slow experience because there was many things that I had to bring up and release out of my body. But I realized in that moment of love and bliss that I am connected to everything and everyone. And I am connected to something so loving and so powerful. And that peace alone brought me so much healing, immense healing. And I realized nothing externally is going to provide me that relief that I was looking for. I had to find that relief within myself and with my connection with God. I stopped all supplements. I stopped protocols. I focused on living more harmoniously with nature. I worked on my circadian rhythm. I prayed over my food. I expressed gratitude continuously. I turned more to food, herbals, and food-based powders to nourish and support my body instead of synthetic lab-created supplements. Food-grade powders for minerals, salt instead of electrolyte powders, the ocean instead of Epsom salt baths, the sun instead of red light therapy and vitamin D supplementation, grounding and gardening instead of PEMF mats. And not only that, I started to become more curious and share knowledge instead of spreading fear, which that alone was very healing. I started to believe in my biological ecosystem and started to believe that my microbes and all of these pathogens within my body were trying to heal and support me. I didn't see them as something that I needed to fight. I saw them as something that I needed to feed and love. Chasing pathogens, removing toxins, and continuously seeking labs and imaging will never heal you. I promise you, they will never heal you. I have worked with many who've gone through this path of chasing and killing and removing, and I have personally experienced it. All it does is make our body more sensitive and sicker, and it keeps us in that fear state. Okay? It really does. It keeps us at this low frequency because we don't end up believing that our body and our environment is safe and that we are not capable of healing or we're not even worthy of it. If you're watching this video, God is trying to inform you that you are perfect just the way you are. You just have to feel it first. All right. I love you guys. Bye.